Restaurant Unstoppable. What the most successful restaurateurs know that you don't.
That place would still be killing. But
What
I made
didn't
so
you know?
many bad.
Yeah, this is the goal. This is what I live for. This is what gets me so excited. What do you know now that you didn't know then?
Okay,
that you wish you did. This is the magic.
Oh, the biggest thing, it's okay to say no to the guest.
When?
Whenever you're out of things. The perfect example is brisket. Brisket, to me, I grew up in a family, and if my mom's listening to this, I love you, and I'm so sorry to tell you this, but my mom used to put brisket in a crock pot, and it would come out, and it would be real tough, and it would be kind of inedible, so brisket night sucked in my family because it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought that no one really eats brisket until I really started going to barbecue shops, and I realized if you know what you're doing, brisket is the best thing literally in the entire world. It's my favorite food ever. And if you eat it straight out of the smoker, it's exceptional. 3 hours out of the smoker, it begins to lose its ability. Reconstituting it the next day with some sort of unsalted beef broth so that you can keep it and make sure that you have it, it tastes like crap. So we wanted so desperately to always have availability and never have an 86. Oh no, we're always going to have everything. That we sacrificed quality by trying to always have availability. And that was such a failure. And I look at Franklin's in Austin to where the line starts at 9 a.m. And
Never been to Franklin's. Lived there for like 6 months.
My God.
But I was like, I'm not sitting in that line.
I get it. I get it. I will tell you, you can't overhype it. It's just that good. But as you know, they go through the line, and somewhere around 10:30, they count down, find out what everybody's going to order, and then somewhere at the end, they hand the last person the beer and say, tell everybody else to go away because this is it.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're okay to know that we're going to run out of stuff.
Yeah,
And
but there's sorry, I cut you short.
No,
Keep
you're
going.
good.
So we're literally teaching a costing and profit course in Restaurant Unstoppable Network right now with Rudy Mick. I don't know if you know that name, Rudy Mick. I'm happy to introduce you if you don't.
I would love that.
Yeah, he's great. And this is something that came up recently in the course is like you never run out. You sell out.
Right. Oh no, that's huge. Yeah, you always talk about that you sell out. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely correct.
Why?
But because it shows that there is some sort of level of excitement about it.
Yeah.
I mean, not to go completely into left field, but if you look at Studio 54, the famous disco in the late 70s, early 80s, their business model, they started by literally not letting anyone in. They'd turn on the music and pretend that there was stuff going on, but nobody got in, not celebrities, not anyone. And they told so many people no that everybody was clamoring to come in. So building the wait, there is a huge value in that. But when I started my barbecue shop, I wanted to make everybody, you can come in at 9 o'clock and get the brisket or the ribs, fine. But that meant that you're 6 hours coming out of the smoker,
Yeah.
and it wasn't any good.
Yeah.
And that, coupled with the ability to change the service model from having to have servers and bussers and runners and all of that to being able to do a walk-up and just having people walk up, grab their food when it was available, and then go listen to live music, it probably would have saved us $1 million.
Okay, so I want to really kind of pull back a few more layers on this. You said that it's okay to tell the guest no, meaning it's okay to say that we sold out.
We sold out, or yes.
So
Absolutely.
the big reason why it's okay to sell out is because you don't want to lower quality. Was that the keystone, or was there more to this?
So the challenge is that I was opening in an environment to where I didn't know. I was new to Toronto. I didn't understand the neighborhood. And it's the beaches area. It's the upper beaches area. It's the nice area of Toronto. And the expectation was, well, people will be very upset if you tell them that what they want isn't available. And because of that, it created this, well, we want to make them all happy, instead of, no, this is our consistency of who we are, and 6 o'clock the brisket comes out, and the minute it's gone, it's gone. It wasn't we're going to hold to our guns and know exactly what it was. It was trying to never say no to the guest. And it's taken me 30 years to understand that no sometimes draws that much more fervor to try to get back the next day at the right time so that you can try that.
Yeah, but I think it's just simple, like how you say things. It's as simple as when you say we ran out, that implies that you didn't plan well.
Right, exactly.
When you say that we sold out, that means we're so freaking awesome that we cannot humanly keep up with how great we are.
Exactly.
It's this little paradigm shift.
But that place also had one of the, and I mean, it's surely Googleable, but there was a restaurant critic that came in on a night to where they were complaining about our Dakota ribs and big, huge beef ribs and all these other things. And I remember I literally sometimes wake up and think about this table. It was just that level of, they were
I still wake up in the middle of the night with like flight, the server like exams. No, because I used to be a commercial pilot, and I would have like a practical or an exam or like a test, and I'd be like, oh, like wake up like, oh, I'm gonna fail.
Like, oh God, yeah. oh yeah, it's I forgot table 23, the server thing. Trust me. So this table was a huge one for me because I remember him telling me that he didn't like the fat cap and he felt that it was bad and everything that we were doing. And I had spent so many months not seeing my girlfriend, not having a life, so focused on trying to make something that I loved. And I really, really put my passion into it. And he was just crapping all over it at the table, that my response was, dude, okay, if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. You can just go. I'm not going to charge you, just go. Which is a surface level response. But at my good God, 18 years ago at that point, my response was what I was feeling, but I happened to do it on the guy that was writing an article unbeknownst to me, and they one-starred us and said what an arrogant, horrible person I was because my response was, fine, you just don't have to pay for it, go away. And it's because I met aggression with similar aggression. And I was too new and too raw and too close to understand that the real win has nothing to do with being right. It has everything to do with trying to get this person to feel like he's being heard. And I just didn't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
And
now, if you built this person's ego up, you're like, oh, tell me more about what we
yes,
can do.
you know what? I really appreciate your. And
I didn't even know that.
And don't get me wrong, this person was a jerk, total horrible jerk.
But it's not about you and your ego; it's about them and their ego.
Like literally, the thing in my book about I wouldn't feed it to my dog is the exact same thing he said to me.
Yeah.
So my response was very visceral and because I was hurt, and I just didn't have the capacity or the training or the understanding to not internalize it.
Yeah. I fucking hope that the restaurant industry changes the world. And it's funny because I say all the time, our mission statement is to inspire, empower, and transform the industry. But I believe that if we can transform the industry, we can transform the world, because this industry is the high road, And if we can teach people, like, we can show people grace,
Yes.
And I feel like that's what we do every day. And I think that's what we have to have in the back of our mind is like, I'm going to take the high road. Tell me about what I could do to make this better. But also you have to hit a switch in your head where you actually give a fuck about what they're saying to you. And that's hard to do. That's really hard to do, especially when you're being criticized.
Yes.
The first thing that comes into your mind when you're being criticized is fuck you.
Fuck you. 100%. Like, oh, you don't like it? Get out.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that is a visceral response. And that's kind of the challenge, is that if you try to hammer out that level of, fuck you, go away, then the response of that means that you're telling people to not care that much about the restaurant and have personal investment. So you don't want to hammer that out. You have to understand the psychology of why people do what they do, and then look at the empathetic aspects of what that looks like.
Okay, what is the psychology of why somebody would tell you that they wouldn't feed your food to their dog?
Because the 2 steps back response is that they feel that they've been disrespected or out of control, and that lack of control means that there's somebody who doesn't feel control in their life, and they're asserting themselves in small ways that allow them to feel like that to regain that in positions to where they know that no one will fight them back. These are people that feel marginalized in their home lives. They're probably in jobs that they are not super excited about. They're people that feel they have to tee off as servers like servants.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're amazingly small people. And if you understand that they are literally 5-year-olds, then
Compassion.
all you're feeling is, yeah, I know you feel that bad.
You gotta have,
And then
you gotta be like, oh, you
compassion.
poor thing. Like, and then
Yeah.
that's, I think, what you gotta say. Like, are you really acting like this right now?
Right.
You poor thing.
Yeah,
You poor thing.
I'm so sorry that your life sucks that bad to where you want to
You
scream.
don't want to say that, but like, how to get yourself there in the right wavelength,
Right.
you know, to handle it well is you poor thing. Like,
You have to, because it's the only way that you
don't
don't.
say that.
Yeah, but it's the only way that you don't internalize it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're the person who's taking body blows every single time and saying, no, the restaurant is great, this is fantastic, and you become that person, then by God, you're going to go home eviscerated and exhausted every single day, and you'll burn out in a year. Because all you're doing is trying to be on the side of right. And it's not the psychology of why you're doing what you're doing. It's being able to figure out people's motivations and curtailing your communication to where they feel that they are being heard, whether or not that they are correct.
Yeah, I love this, and I'm loving these rabbit holes. But to bring it back to
We're never
the
going to get out of
No,
2005.
Man, we're dropping gold as we go. This is great. I'm loving it. So you said that you learned so many things that if you knew now, you would have been a millionaire. The things you dropped on us, it's okay to say no.
Right.
Because, you know, specifically, it's okay to sell out. You mentioned something about walking up, doing like a process of like walk up.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at is, what are the other things that you learned?
The other
Do me a favor, like just list them.
Okay.
So we can make sure we get it. So I know how to manage my time.
If we're going back, it would be, first off, an 86 list, hands down. Second, being able to adjust the service level to where it didn't have to be full service. It's a barbecue restaurant. Didn't need to have servers and runners and bussers and all of those things. And understanding that the culture of what we were trying to do would be a lot more authentic if it was a little bit more hold to our guns instead of always trying to be ingratiating. And this is what we do, this is our barbecue, instead of making it so milquetoast. And so I think that those are the things that
I don't know if I understand. So understanding that the culture of what we're trying to do. Finish the sentence.
So the understanding the culture of making it be something that was available at 10 p.m. as well as 5 p.m., making it be something that we never had an 86 list, that we were afraid to be able to say to people no.
Yeah.
And that's I guess that if I were to go back and redo that concept, besides the labor savings of someone walking up to a counter at a bartender that says, what are you drinking and how many ribs do you want? And doing that and just having it come out of the kitchen and not burning labor on runners and, you know, people marking your tables and all this other stuff, and understanding that it's okay for people, even in upper echelon areas, to go just fetch their food and just go sit at a table and be happy. It's the ability to continue to say, no, this is who we are. Music's going to be loud. This is what we like. This is who we are. If you like it, great. If not, go somewhere else.
Yeah. And the people who are like us, who like this, will come back. And
Right.
I think it's okay. I think that's like the benefit of being in a big city like Chicago or Toronto, where you have such a mass amount of people that you're going to find your niche. You're going to find the people who like what you have.
Exactly.
So just be true to it and cater to that 20% that's going to be 80% of your revenue.
Correct.
Right? So you mentioned, so one thing I think to kind of pull back a few more layers in this idea of being able to walk up and to change your service level, your service style.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason why like full service is such a thing, or was such a thing from like the 60s to like the early 2000s, is because we were taught anybody who opens a restaurant was likely working in restaurants, and they just transferred the set of skills.
Right.
Right. And now we're starting to look at it, we're like, why are we doing the same shit over and over again? Like, why not do counter service? Like, why not? And then plus we have technology that we can leverage, like Bebot, like pagers, like all these different things we can do to be more efficient. We're like literally like geo tracking, like pagers, where like you can look at a screen and be like, oh, this person's at they got this pager, that pager. Oh, they're in the bathroom right now.
Right.
Gross. Why did they bring the pager in the bathroom? But still, like we had all these tools. Like, why not streamline it? Why not leverage these technologies? Why not do what's more efficient? And efficiency is value added. No?
True, but I think that at least in the situation of the barbecue restaurant, it had a lot more to do with the fact that because of the socioeconomic area that we were in, we felt that the guest would not respond positively if there wasn't a blanket of labor on top of them doing everything to where that they felt that they were totally taken care of instead of a little DIY aspect, which, thinking back on it, goes completely counter to the down-home gritty blues that we were playing and who we were. That is probably arguably if I had to pick my top 3 regrets in the world, that's right up there, is that we could have done that better.
Yeah.